Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? So, everything decided to go off the rails tonight. So, I said, heck with it. I'm just going to do just a live stream where I just hang out tonight. I have been, it's been a bit. I know I took 2 weeks off and then I went live last week. I was very proud of last week's show. And I had a show planned for tonight. And then I ran into some camera issues. So, we're going to mourn the potential, hopefully not, but the potential loss of my Sony ZV-10. But that's okay. I always say, you go live with what you got. What am I going live with right now? This is my iPhone. This is my iPhone as my camera. Looks pretty crispy, doesn't it? So, yeah. So, life is good. And here I am, I'm live. So, I have been traveling. I went on a mission trip out of the country for 2 weeks. I have never been away from a computer for that much time since I was 12 years old. Okay, seriously, I have never been away from a. Okay, all right. Well, no, even when I was in the military, I was with computers all the time. I was doing SunSpark 10s. So yeah. So my Sony ZV-10 says camera error, and the camera error is so bad, I literally have to pull the power from the dummy battery to get this bad boy, to get this bad boy to shut off. And then I thought, well, maybe it's a lens issue, so I took my Sigma 16 off of it, and I put the kit lens that comes with it. Still nothing, not a zilch. It comes on, but it immediately makes this grinding sound, and then it says, camera error, turn off power, and turn back on. Turn off and turn back on. But the catch with that is that, it's not coming up. So I am sad. I'll play around with that. I just didn't have time tonight. It's funny. I downloaded the latest version of Ecamm this morning, and the camera was on, and it was nice and crispy, just to, so I could see how everything going. Didn't have to do anything. And then tonight, it said, I don't want to play. So I said, okay, well, hardwire the iPhone, and let's turn on the camera, and let's get going. So, yeah, here I am. I have been doing, since I got back, I've been doing some fun 3D printing. Matt Haas inspired me. He had a bust of Marcus Aurelius on his channel that somebody had sent him, and I said, oh man, I want to go find one. So I printed that with my 3D printer. I was pretty excited about that. And then I printed this. So here you go. Guess what this is before I take away all the trees. Now these are trees. These are supports that it prints in order to verify that it's going to stand up while it's printing. And it's probably a little heavy on the. I'm gonna break it away. So everybody, tell me your guesses in the chat. Who do you think this is a bust of right now? Tell me in the chat who you think this is a bust of. Probably can guess. I don't know. I think I'm gonna print. There's a really cool Albert Einstein that I like. The one with him sticking his tongue out. I thought that would be fun. So I'm just gonna start my. That's a close guess, David. That is a close guess. So, yeah, but it's not Beethoven. Beethoven. That's what I meant. It's not Beethoven. It is somebody else. So let's say hi to everybody. Yeah, Matt in the house. How you doing, sir? Camera issues? No. Yes, I am sad right now, but it's okay. It's gonna be fine. Maybe it's time for me to go minimalist for a bit. I need to mix it up. You get in your comfort zone. Sometimes you need something to go wrong to kick you out of your comfort zone. And so here I am. I am out of my comfort zone. Hey, Stuart. Hey, Laura. How you doing? Beethoven. Matt says Einstein. No, I haven't printed Einstein yet. I'm talking about printing Einstein. So here we go. I'll show it to you again. Maybe the side view. Mark Twain. Yes. Stuart is correct. It is Mark Twain. So I'm going to break it loose. So let's go full screen, and I will show you extra vanilla. So there we go. So we break the trees away. Oh, that one didn't break clean. So, okay. So break the trees away. These are all the supports that make sure that it prints without falling over. It print. I recently read a biography of Mark Twain. I was very fascinated. He was definitely a hilarious but conflicted individual. And boy, howdy, if it hadn't been for his wife, I don't know he'd been the man that we thought he was. Because his wife luckily kept him from being as bad as he could have been. Yeah. Anyway, there's one little piece that's stuck up here in the corner. I'll get it loose later. Anyway, but here goes Mark Twain. How you like that? How you like them apples? I thought that was pretty cool. I guess I could have enlarged it, but I kind of like the smaller version of Mark Twain. Put it right there. Along with my... the answer is 42. Anyway. Anyway, all right, there's Marky Mark. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Wouldn't that have been a different song if Mark Twain had done that song? I'm just saying. So, Marco Twaino. Well, there you go. I like that. That's a new one. Well, that's a new feature. It blurs me when I put the chat on a scene that I don't have marked up to do a chat. Let's see. Okay, that's interesting. How interesting. Yeah. So I'm running beta 4.5 of Ecamm, and so I noticed some bleed through there. That's interesting. I'll have to play with that. So anyway, extra vanilla. But anyway, so the problem is all these trees now. There is a way to take all this filament and turn it into filament again. But the systems I've seen are very crazy expensive. So, ouch. Yeah. So I won't be doing that. In my travels, I went to Sierra Leone. That was where I went for 2 weeks, and that was a very blessed trip. But then I came back to Chicago, and Chicago didn't want to let me leave. Chicago, I literally got on the airplane, buckled up, and then the captain tells us, folks, I'm afraid I've been told by headquarters that this flight has been canceled. So, yes, so you can get on the plane and buckle up and have your bags up in the cabinet, up in the overhead bin, and be told your flight is canceled. I have never had that happen before. I would have appreciated instead that they had canceled it before I got on the plane. And then the other part is, as soon as we got off the plane, the person at the desk basically grabbed her bag and walked as fast as she could down the terminal. So we didn't even get the customer servicey, hey, I'm so sorry, contact United and they will help you reschedule your flight. So we played this game called Escape from Chicago, which is really sad because I wish I could have spent time there. I'd love to go and have Chicago deep dish. I would love to go to Second City and see some live improv. That would have been a blast. I would have loved that. That would have been fun. I was reading this book about this guy that went through Second City, and man, I'm like, oh man, I would love to spend like 4 months in Chicago and go to classes at Second City. But unfortunately, it's like one class a week for X number of weeks. I'm like, well, I can't uproot my life for that right now. Not this. So it would have been a blast. I would love to get really awesome at improv because it gets you out of your shell. Mark Twaino, Marco Twaino, nice print res. Yeah, I love it. The Bamboo P2S did that. Samuel Clemens. Yes, you get it right the second time. There you go. Samuel Clemens. Yes, and Adam Huber's close. So yeah, I So then the next day, some of the team took off and flew Southwest. There was a Southwest flight that was leaving that morning, flying to another location that was in driving distance of our hometown. And so that's what they did. And they got back like noon. But anyway, we stuck around, and they put us on the 5:55 flight on Saturday, PM flight on Saturday, and we got back at the time. We would have gotten back the previous day had that flight actually taken off. And they bumped us up to Comfort Plus, so we had more leg room. That was kind of nice. But we did file a complaint, and there was some craziness happened, so they did give us some points. I don't know what good that'll do because I don't fly United enough to have a lot of points, but yeah, it was, and then also they gave like $50 in credit. They did buy some of us breakfast. For some reason or other, they did not send certificates to everybody, so we got to work on that. But yeah. Yes, improv, yes and. That is, yes, improv equals yes and. First class. I did take an improv class in the fall of last year. I am hoping to take another one, maybe in April. But there's a class about stand-up. I have it in me to do one stand-up routine and get that out of my system. Because believe it or not, in many, many moons ago, one of my things to be when I grew up was to be a comedian. And I didn't do that. As you may know, or maybe I did, and I did so bad that, here I am. Anyway, I also went to school for recording engineering. I went to school in Studio City, California, right outside of Los Angeles, and went to school for 2 months to learn how to work in a recording studio. This is back in the days when we recorded on reel-to-reel, and it was 2-inch Sony tape in the studio, and you still did splicing with a razor blade. So those were fun times, and I love the modern times of technology because, hey, now you can record an entire album on your computer easily. So, just that's the thing. So I also had a plan to be a lawyer if the other stuff didn't work out. But first and foremost, I like that. I need to figure out where that setting is. First and foremost, I was going to be a rock star. If you go out and find your favorite music service and you can tolerate it, look for The Worst of Due West. And that was a demo that I did 30-something years ago. And I know I should have re-recorded it and all that fun stuff, but I just had to get that. It's one, you that bucket list concept, or that list of things that in your life you want to do. And so I said, hey, I'm going to release this album. My youngest daughter is who pushed me. Dad, why don't you just release that and get it out of your system? And I said, okay, why don't I? So I did. I released it, so it's out on Spotify and Amazon Music and Apple Music and everywhere. But, I couldn't I'm not a promotional type of guy, and I admit it's multiple copies of a couple songs, like an acoustic version, electric version. Yeah. When were you there? I was there in, so 99. I was there in 96. No, I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. Warrant had a number one song. Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine was on the radio at the time. So whatever year those songs came out, that would be when I was in LA. Because, we went by the Chinese Theater, the Rainbow Room, all that stuff. I did not go in the Rainbow Room. I really should have. I didn't. It's a long story. And there was a girl I met there. and she was learning classical guitar with the hopes of being the next Randy Rhoads. And if you don't know, that was one of the early guitarists for Ozzy Osbourne in his solo career, and he was awesome. But I like that little weird. That's an interesting effect. I don't know. I'll have to go play around. So, United did that to me on a route to India, and and we were stranded in Newark for 36 hours. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's just funny to me that I flew from GSP to Chicago to Brussels to Freetown, Sierra Leone. Other than the fact that in Sierra Leone, the security there tried to get us to bribe them with $500 to get our medical supplies through. So that was like, dude, seriously, we're coming in for a humanitarian mission, and you want money? We've already gone through security, and you're just a guy at the door on the way out, telling us, "Hey, $500, I'll make sure you get through the rest of the way." I'm like, literally, after we got that door, the next part was to get onto the seaport, the seaboat. So you have to take a boat from where the airport really is to get to Freetown. And I'll tell you, late at night, the boat is much smaller, much smaller. On the way back, though, we got to take the big boat because it was during the day. That was a very nice boat. So anyway, we came back, made it through Brussels. By the way, in Brussels, I bought a kilo of Belgian chocolate. That was insane. I should not have done that. We still have Belgian chocolate. It is amazingly good. I'm not saying anything about the chocolate itself. That was just a stupid amount to buy, but I wanted an assortment. I wanted an assortment of chocolate, and there it was. It was there, and so it was funny to me. But we're still eating on it. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. But that was a trip to me. So then we get to Chicago, and that's where the problems happen, is Chicago. So hang on, I want to show you something crazy. Let's see here. I want to show you something crazy without selling my digital soul to all you guys. Devices. Here we go. All right. So the sad part is that I had my AirPods in my suitcase. Let me do some sharing here. So hang on. We're going to share. And I'm going to change. I'm going to show you that here in a minute, but we'll come back to that. So right now I'm going to do, that's fine. Let's do Find My. So I lost my AirPods in Sierra Leone. And I've been watching them move around Sierra Leone. I did report them as missing, as lost. I didn't report them as stolen or anything. There's no chance I'll ever get them back. But I get a trip. It's a trip to me watching my AirPods move around Sierra Leone. And I had sent a friend of mine like the coordinates who lives in Sierra Leone, and said, "Hey, if you just happen to be near the coordinates, that's where they are right now." But at this point, they've moved around so much that I don't want to put anybody in harm's way. But I just thought this is really funny to me. I think it's hilarious. But there's my AirPods in Sierra Leone, and I know I'm never getting them back, and I should just delete them. But for some reason or other, it's a trip to me to watch them move around Sierra Leone. So I love technology. I did replace the AirPods with another pair because I use my AirPods for so many things. And so I wanted them back. And so I got another pair of AirPods. So now I'm back to being okay now. But I'm just enjoying, every day I'll get a notification about 7 o'clock in the morning. Which is noon their time, it'll start moving again. So, and I'll see the streets it goes on, and it's just funny to me to use Find My to say, "Hey, where are my AirPods at now?" So, the new cartoon coming on soon called Where in the World is Roy's AirPods? It's going to be on PBS Kids. So you'll just have to watch that. Your times may vary. So, all right, I wanted to show you this. So I've been having such a journey with 3D printing, and so I wanted to show you this. And so, ta-da, let's change it to main display. Let's change it to live. Nope, AV. Okay, so I want to show you. So I really get a kick out of the time-lapse videos of it printing. So here I printed a dragon using a really bright color. And so I love the fact there's a camera in the 3D printer that lets me go and look at these different prints. So it's been quite a trip to me. Let's go here. Let's see, here's another one. What is this one now? Oh. Yeah, we already looked at that. We don't want to see that again. Show me something else. Sometimes you just got to shut things down when they act dumb. All right, let's see. Try this one. Okay. This is here I was printing a dinosaur egg, complete with a dinosaur inside it. It was really cool. You open it up and then the dinosaur pops out. So I have just been having a blast playing with a 3D printer. And let's see what this is. There we go. This was the smaller version of the egg, and I liked it better because it had like a blue dinosaur inside it. Now, the dinosaur print was a separate print, and then you put the dinosaur inside it. But you pick whatever colors you want based on what you got. Let's see. This was so because we were doing meds in Sierra Leone, I printed these pill counters so that we could use them. But there's some design flaws with this, and so next time I go, I'm going to make a better pill counter than that one because that one didn't turn out as awesome as I would like to. Here, I printed. This is supposed to be you put LEDs against this, and then in another print, I print the kind of the cover that goes over on that. So, this is where I'm printing a seed box with my 3D printer. So I'm really getting a kick out of playing around with these 3D prints. So, and then the last one here is here's Mark Twain. I think this is Mark Twain. Yep, let's see. Yes, this is when I printed Mark Twain today. My wife picks on me. She's like, this thing isn't constant printing. I said, well, it takes some time to print things. This did take about 5 hours and change to print. So, but yeah, I'm just having so much fun playing around with this. So, this is it's a terrible hobby. You really should not do this. I really don't recommend it. So anyway, because it's addictive, man. It's addictive. You don't need that kind of stress in your life. So anyway, so that's been my adventures the last 2 weeks. And so anybody know how to get any cheap airfare to London? I would like to fly to London in July, but I got to find a way to get cheap enough airfare to afford 3 people going. My oldest son lives in London and I want to go. So anybody knows travel tips and says, hey, this is how you get the cheap seats, let me know because I want to know. All right, so next week I will go live with the intended topic. We are going to talk about finding your true audience. Yes, videos like this, one-offs like this, just kind of go down a rabbit hole, and I admit, now it doesn't fit with the niche that my channel has. But right now is a very weird time on YouTube space. It's very strange. I just really don't know what to say about it. I want to upgrade my Ender 3, but it's an expense I can't justify yet. Oh, that does make it a challenge. Yep. I need 3D printing in my life. Can I skip the stress? Well, okay. So it's not stressful per se. So anyway, I'm getting a weird text message, so we'll just skip that. So anyway, it's weird, but 3D printing is not stressful. It's not actually stressful at all. The Bamboo P2S is such a stress-free printer. I've had a couple of mishaps, minor stuff. 99% of the time, I've been able to fix it myself. So it was just a weird trip. Yeah, owning owning a 3D printer changes the way you look at everything. Yes, it does, because I can fix this. My wife got a automated Alexa Google controlled plant waterer, but it was missing a piece. And she's like reached out to the company. She's reached out to Amazon, and the company has not responded. It's missing the key piece that goes between the little tube, the little 1/4-inch tube, to the spigot. And I'm like, I can print that for you. I can print that. I've already found the print. I can print it. I don't even have to design it. I can print it for you. And, so yeah, it's as soon as problems, now all your problems are solved by a 3D printer. Like that whole analogy, if you have a hammer, then all your problems are nails. Well, here you go. If you have a 3D printer, then all your problems are 3D prints. That's a great question. How much did the materials cost to print the Marcus Twainus? So let's go look. Good question. So let's see. The filament, I got it for about $16 a spool, or less. Let's go back to share app. All right, we're going to share an app, and this time we're going to share the Bamboo Studio. There we go. So the Bamboo Studio. Here's the print that I did. Preview. So let's go to the beginning. Prepare. So it says it's going to take let's see, I'm counting. I'm looking at the volume here. It says it's going to take 30,426. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't match the calculations. But you can go and it'll tell you like all the stuff. Layer height, I'm looking for information about it. Text shape, yeah, you can do all kind of stuff here. I have not done a lot of fun stuff in here with designing from scratch. I have used ChatGPT to help me design a couple things. Funny enough, it creates the STL file. Not beautiful prints, but close. Let's see. You use 98.40 grams. So if, let's see, a standard roll, this is when we break out ChatGPT. And so let me change the app to ChatGPT. There we go. All right. Standard spool of Bamboo PLA filament is how much? How many grams? Okay. So, all right. Okay, 300 grams with 7 millimeter. Okay, so filament is 1,000 grams. So if I got 1,000 grams of filament for $16, and then let's see, 1,000. Let's see, 16 divided by 1,000. Okay, so 16 by 1,000. So that'd be 0.1, 0.0. Okay, so 0.016 times, and it said it was 98.40 grams. Okay, so that's why you don't do math live. Okay, so $1.57. So yeah, so about $1.57. That's not too shabby. I think that's great. I get such a kick out of it. I got more than $1 worth of joy out of that whole process. So, and you can set it and forget it. You can leave things printing overnight because the Bambu is very reliable. It also has some AI, so if it does like spaghetti or something like that, it'll stop. If it runs out of filament, it will stop and it'll say, "Hey, you want to load some more filament?" Or even change to a different color. I've done that a couple times. Something it didn't matter what color it was. I said, "Hey, I'm out of that color. Let's go to this color," and I printed it, and so it went great. Yeah, so I'm having a lot of fun with that. So yeah. All right. Well, that's it. I have worn out my welcome here. I'm starting to feel like. So I thank you all for coming and hanging out with me tonight. Next week I will be on topic. I am working on some recorded videos because I came back with a lot of inspiration from Sierra Leone about videos that I needed to make. People said, "Roy, this is what you need to make." And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I need to make. I need to make videos like that. And using my iPhone as my camera tonight, since my Sony ZV-10 said, "I'm not doing it for you tonight," is just proof that this is a path I need to go. I need to go to a minimalist approach for a bit so that I can let others know kind of the path that they should go. So, yeah. All right. That's it. That's my show tonight. So, YouTube is going to say, "Hey, watch this video right here." And you should always do what YouTube says because there are evil overlords, right? Yeah. All right. I am good. I'm good. I just had some technical issues tonight, and so I pivoted. I pivoted from what I was planning to do tonight, so I do appreciate your patience. Anyway, again, YouTube's going to say, "Watch this video right here," and YouTube is always right. So have a great night, everybody.